I think Disruptor actually makes solid sense here.
5 seconds remain.
Though, when you open up like this with the Snapfire and the Mars, with your potentially double offlane but some flexibility on the support, you're setting yourself up that you can react to a lot of picks of the enemies, and it does make sense given that you have the last two picks, because these two already give you everything. They give you teamfight, they give you laning phase, they give you ganking potential, so you don't really have to be thinking like anything to combo with them. You just need to make sure that you can somewhat counter the enemy's heroes and win the game.
Yeah. Well, what about the Marcy? Is this what you were kind of looking
10
for instead
seconds
if
to
they don't
pick.
pick the Disruptor?
I mean, you have
5
good
seconds.
laning again
Hurry,
on the
hurry.
Marcy. You open up a possibility for so many range cores, mainly the Drow and the SF do come to mind. So Marcy's okay. I think she's also pretty well rounded and allows you to go for that game-winning hero, and everything else, as we mentioned, you already got covered.
Yeah. Strong hero overall. Does sit in nicely. Now it's just down to XERXIA. What do they want to answer as they see this Marcy being brought up by Army Geniuses? They could still go for another solid plus 5 hero if they feel like it, if they don't want to put the Tusk necessarily in the support role. But they're going to bring out the Pango for now. That is also a hero they have not played. So we're getting a lot of new heroes for these teams, not new heroes considering the meta,
Only
at least.
10 seconds.
And to actually jump back on that Tusk, they haven't picked Tusk before either.
5
Oh,
seconds remain.
okay. So, Pango, though, it does give you the counter to the Mars Arena Snapfire ulti. Neither the Mars nor the Snapfire like playing against the Pango, so maybe it's a bit weird that they didn't really get rid of it, because he goes through the arena. Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one for
Interesting.
sure. It's a support Coddle, support Tusk, most likely. That's what it looks like, even though I haven't seen a support Coddle for quite some time. I haven't seen a Coddle for quite some time.
Well, for good
10
reason. It
seconds
is
to
an unpicked hero this tournament. That's the first Coddle pick.
5 seconds. Hurry.
I mean,
hurry.
now we're gonna find out if it's for a good reason.
Support
I'm
Coddle,
just-
maybe with a core Pangolier, you can at least get a lot of swashbuckles
Yep.
out.
That does make sense. They get a Bloodseeker on Army Geniuses. Not the biggest fan of the hero currently in the meta, but you are up against the Lesh and the Pango, so makes a little bit of sense. Plus, if the Keeper wants to go for something like a Bristleback combo, the Seeker is a good hero
Only
against
10
him as well.
seconds.
Yeah.
So, not that bad of a pick here for Army Geniuses.
5
Plus, if it is a
seconds
offlane Pango, which is most likely going to be the case, it's one of the
Radiant
few cores that can actually run him
Giants
down. Usually the ones that can jump you, the Pango just
Yeah, yeah.
swashbuckles away and he's okay. The Bloodseeker consistently chases.
It's like this Bloodseeker is countering two heroes. And listen to me carefully. Two heroes, Leshrac, Pango, and Coddle. Because it feels like Pango is a direct counter, but Lesh and Coddle, they're kind of like, well, you know, still counter the Lesh directly with their ult. The
10
hero can
seconds
still
to
stop, but for Pango, it just counters the ultimate, the swashbuckle, his shield crash. All of his abilities do
seconds.
damage to Pango if
Hurry.
ruptured. The silence is good on the Lesh and the Coddle, but they both rely on mobility, but they can live without it. So these three heroes calculate as a full of 2. So I like the Bloodseeker pick in this
Entire team
particular
are
draft.
picking.
Okay, Army Geniuses, they finally ban out the Lifestealer. I think that's the right approach. They got rid of the Morphling as well. Morphling does well against all of Army Geniuses heroes, apart from maybe the Mars during the laning phase. Later on, it is pretty much more favored.
Only 10 seconds.
So what is there to put with the Keeper, or you're just gonna be laning with the Pango and you
5
Bristle.
get a
seconds
you
remain.
get a maybe you can get a ranged hero to lane with the
Radiant
Tusk,
team are now
Drow.
Templar
You go for a
assassin.
TA. Okay.
Okay.
That's actually solid. Bloodseeker has good base armor, but the thing is, he doesn't really build too much into armor items, so the TA plus the Tusk can rip you
10
apart.
seconds to
With
pick.
that 1 second that you're up in the air, the TA can do enough damage so that you cannot fight. So I
5
like it.
seconds.
It's
Hurry,
not bad.
hurry.
Is this a bad pick right now for Army Geniuses?
Yeah. They haven't played Bat. Puck they have.
Dota,
Yahweh
Dota.
with 1 game of Puck. That was a win against XERXIA. So he'll bring out the Puck pick to finish off the draft here for the Army Geniuses. And now that we have both of our drafts completed, give me your thoughts here. Give me your 5 pennies on both of these teams.
Oof. XERXIA definitely has the ease of execution. You push the towers easily with the Lesh. You farm with the TA. Once you get to the right point in the game, you just want to end it. On the side of Army Geniuses, they're all around the place. They really need to be jumping left and right. So definitely not going to be easy for them to do so. And for them to be able to run around the map and get those kills, they need a good laning phase. So I guess the drafts would be 50-50. But if I would have to make a call, I'd go for Army Geniuses. I think their laning phase is going to be pretty strong, and they can dodge the big timing that XERXIA is going to be gunning for.
The one thing I'm disappointed in is, well, I'm semi-disappointed. We have the Crocodile Snapfire, which is great, but please, Valve, we needed the Snail Snapfire. That's the only thing this game really needs. It is the Snail Snapfire. So please, can we get that someday? Maybe in Arcana? You've seen the Snail Snapfire?
Yep, I have.
It's a work of art.
Yeah, it really does look amazing. But I have to say, the Croco is really cool as well. Look at him; he's actually pretty cute. And it seems like someone from Valve wanted the mount for the Snapfire to be a lizard. So
Yep.
we're not gonna be changing it there.
Lizard versus the goat. Or whatever you want to name Caudle's mount. This is the last best of 2 of the day, ladies and gents. It is Army Geniuses versus XERXIA here at the BTS Pro Series SCA Season 13. BTS once again bringing you a quality tournament and Pro Series that has been going on for such a long time, getting to continue once more. We're already almost a week into the group stages, and we have another one coming right up. After that's going to be a one-day break and heading over to the playoffs, where we're going to find out how does that $40,000 prize pool get split between the teams. 16K for the winner. You get 9K for second place. And all teams, they get participation money as well. So there is a $500 bonus for showing up, which is, well, probably, it's some pocket warm money, but it is better than nothing, because in most tournaments where you play, you land first or end up first, like say TI for example, you get nothing.
This is, you play the game you love, Dota is good because even when you're hungry, if you get into the game enough, you're actually not gonna feel it.
We're talking about can we get a 1 versus 1 top? It's going to be a 2 versus 2 bot instead, as Rupido charging in your dream. Going to be making sure that Varus is going to be alright with the hits that he's taking in. And to talk about this, we do actually have a stand-in. Jing is not playing, and we have Zhao Bonbon as the plus 4 here for XERXIA.
Yep. Did he play when they played against Fnatic?
They have played with him in a game. Yes, that's where I looked it up. They have had him as a stand-in before.
This lane of theirs in the bottom lane is actually going to be quite good. Rupido will most likely just be spamming the spells constantly, and Bloodseeker, despite him being able to heal, you're not going to be able to heal through all of that damage. So I'm actually liking this soft lane of XERXIA, especially against the Bloodseeker.
Yep. Caudle moves in for the camp block. Snapfire can focus on the courier if he wants to, but Zhao Bonbon looking for the kill to Varus. Couple more to go. 1 or 2 more hits will do it. Oh, he hits the courier in between. He cuts through the trees with the tango, and Snap has been regenerating. He still has 5 stick charges as well. And Rapido has to rejoin, and that's gonna be enough. Zhao Bonbon. Perseverance pays off for the first blood for XERXIA.
The reason he attacked the courier there is because you're hitting A on the ground constantly, because you don't want to miss a single asset.
Exactly.
A single hit, and then he clicks on there and the hero attacks.
Got
the courier.
surprised
Almost
by it.
allows the Snapfire to live.
That was a close call. Varus, he had 5 stick charges too, so he could have died much earlier and forced Zhao Bonbon to use that one big blast. Right under the tower in your dream. He already sees this one coming from a mile away. He will move out of the way of the blast from Caudle. But looking at the other lanes, Yahweh already down to almost no health and almost no mana at all. But he did get his bottle off of the courier. Meanwhile, Ken, 9-2. Puck, 6-2.
The Puck thought that he's most likely going to be laning against the Lesh, but yeah, not going to be the case. So actually now you pick the Puck into a TA, so that ease of execution has become even easier for XERXIA. So Ken is going to have a really good time here.
And Jaja getting chased by Jokum and DB. As the Tusk decided to go in, they're like, we have our spells to trade against you as well. And Karma is very low on mana right now. He's basically spent everything for these lightning bolts and a couple split earths, and CS is still tied between the Mars and the Leshrac. So he's gonna need some more regeneration out of somewhere. And it's either gonna be Jaja giving him his mangoes or bringing something else. But Varys will actually get a kill in the bottom lane off of the Caudle, so a bit of payback.
The Bloodseeker is probably telling his team, try to trade as much as you can. I want to be fast in this lane, and once some people start getting somewhat low on the map, it's way too easy for your team to do massive amounts of damage to both Rupido and Shower Bonbon.
A lot of stick charges on the side of Army Geniuses in that bottom lane. Top lane, Karma has to force out the salve. He is going to get a mango from his buddy, the Tusk. Again, forced to fight under the tower. And In Your Dream is really fixated on this one voice line. Not gonna lie, he just keeps spamming it from game to game. He probably doesn't even spam anything else except for this one particular nightmare noise.
It does make sense. His name is In Your Dream, and then it's Nightmare. So In Your Dream, there's just nightmares because you're playing against me. Yeah. It does.
In Your
it
Nightmare.
Does make a lot of sense. Yeah, that he's not going to be spamming anything else. Also, one thing to point out again, we have a guy who has rebranded himself. Karma is actually Asta, so that people know who is playing for XERXIA. Even though I can see in the chat there are a lot of fans who know about this stuff, there might be a lot of people that actually haven't caught up with it just yet.
Yeah, there's that's a good correction. Yeah, a lot of new nicknames coming in from players. Some might not even be detected yet because they're open agents for the DPC season. So the team registrations are still open for a lot of teams. Hence their nicknames not showing properly because this is a ticketed tournament. So if they don't have a team or if they don't have a registered name, it's gonna show your profile name or something else, something different. Puck, however, is in a bit of trouble here under the tower. Ken diving in. They do almost teleport the Marcy in as well, but a couple side blade spills. Yowie, he was already out of it for a moment, and he almost ended up paying back. Oh, he's trying to stay for the CS and the side blades. Ooh, that's going to be one, but he does have some regen. Varys is also here, just in case. Ken with the pressure.
Someone popped the glyph as well. Ken wanted some side blades over onto those creeps. Didn't deny.
Should be dead. Marcy does save him, so he's not dead. Just
not even close. Not even close there for DB. He's gonna have his spells back again, so if Jokam can get a connection with the stun, they can turn this one around.
Did their job on Bon, blowing up these raindrops off of the Bloodseeker with this constant spam. We gotta keep our eye open on this top lane because Jokam and DB both, as he mentioned, if they see an opening, they'll go for it.
That's so dumb. The DB was low, and he just gets given a sidekick, bonks the creep wave, and he's almost back up to full. It's not fair, actually.
And looking at the triangle job on Bon, there's a quad stack of Ancients and a tri-stack of on the hard camp. He can't actually see the. There is a sentry in there somewhere. He's trying to target it. Alright, he's finally gonna find it. There we go.
He saw the little blue mark there ahead of the creeps. He couldn't target it, but in the end he found. Okay, so now
had to do some troubleshooting.
And now this Caudle makes a lot of sense because playing it with the TA. Currently in the meta, people aren't focusing that much on stacking, but Coddle is one of the best heroes to do it. Him and the Shadow Demon probably at the top of the list. So you pick him, you're pushing in the bottom lane, somewhat securing it for the Pango, and then you're making sure that there's so many stacks there. We're seeing that that Varish knows, but looking at their heroes invading it is just not gonna be easy.
Let's see what's going on here. Lesh is going to be thrown in. Asta in trouble. Shard doesn't block them. Might actually open up for a kill opportunity here. He's going to stay for the stun. Hope the tower does enough. Jaja. He cannot kill the Mars. He's too tanky. Can't deal with him.
He was afraid. He was afraid that he was gonna be sharding in the Lesh, so he didn't go towards the real edge of that one. Made the mistake. Though I have to say, Army Geniuses were positioning quite well. They were running right next to the Lesh, so that doesn't happen. So very nice placement from DB and Jocam that kind of forced Jaja into a mistake.
Proper turnaround here. They got the full-on combo here, but Puck has also rotated in. Tusk's like, oh no, I don't want to be here. Rapido also getting killed by In Your Dream. Rupture kill on the Pango. Ken has been farming these stacks meanwhile.
As soon as he got level 6, he went for it. Varish wasn't constantly showing on the lane, but when Pango saw that the Snapfire was there, he knew that TP out was not a option any longer. So he does go down. That's really nice for In Your Dream. You know that the second you hit level 6, that there is no escape for Pango. Plus, the early laning stage is very important for the Bloodseeker. This hero just doesn't catch up that fast.
Yeah. I didn't actually notice, but because we've been casting all day, Polaris has actually released their roster today, and Jing is in it. So that's the reason why he's not with XERXIA today.
Oh, okay.
So he's not in the team anymore. We've been casting with Harry for the last 7.5 hours, so we apologize for that mistake. We have not had time to read social media today. We've been at work. We've been hard-working lads.
I don't know. I feel like everyone at work can look at social media apart from us, Panda.
I just cast. I don't do social media at all when I work.
No. I'm not talking about casters. I'm talking everyone else. Like we got into the wrong branch here of work. We could just be sitting on Twitter.
You're making it sound worse now. So, just drop it there. I'm just saying thanks to Twitch chat. You guys are awesome. Hugs to you guys. Thank you.
Of course.
8.5 minutes in. TA leading net worth has had these ancient stacks to farm. They've blocked the ancient camp once again, as Zhao Bonbon is going to have his hands filled. He will find an Ops ward with the same sentry he placed earlier on, but he has no idea about the one that has been placed after. Tusk. Gonna be in a bit of trouble here with Jokum. They have Yahweh here as well, so another kill for Puck.
That's a deep dive, but they cannot transition it into a tower. So this Puck rotation isn't going to be as successful as you would want it. And even if you get the tower down, XERXIA has already placed some vision there, so they'll have good control over their jungle.
Oh, there's an arena being used in top. Asta once again just being pummeled. And this Marcy will also be completely fine with the tower hits. Has a Fairy Fire and some 1 charges remaining. Puck has also been living in this top lane, allowing this Snapfire to catch up in experience and in farm, while causing a nuisance for the Slashrak. The Slash is just not getting online.
Man, there was one hit from the arena shields that connected onto the Lesh that I was like 99% certain wasn't going to be happening, and it actually took him over the edge. If that didn't happen, I think he actually kills them both before they have enough to finish him off.
See what action rune we're going to get. Ken gets himself an invis. And TP is coming into mid. What does Jokum have up his mind? He is going to go for a bottle refill. He gives the tome for Varus. They have a smoke as well. And to the triangle, potentially. Thinking about it, pondering. They're going to go for the smoke now, but they're not going triangle. Did they see the TA?
They know where the TA is. Yep, he went over a ward there. So they know exactly where he is.
Alright, so he entered from the stairs. Yeah. does have his own vision here as well. All they need is to just coil him down, lock him where he is, and there we go. He's gonna pop the stun right away, burning up as well. Dust is flying in. Mortimer's Kiss is only doing a limited amount of damage. It's not gonna be enough. Yahweh. He did get snowballed there by Yaya, and then we're being held away with Caudal Blast. Rapido can't get the Varish. He's shield crashed, so he's gonna be on a long cooldown.
XERXIA are keeping their towers alive. That's pretty important because you want your TA to hit this timing. You are losing heroes.
They're gonna kill Mars. It shouldn't kill Mars. Like, he's escaped so many times. DB shouldn't get the live here. Blinding Light, pushing him closer to TA. TA finally finishes him off. Now they're running away. Yahweh.
Oh, they will go now. There's no TA. They're gonna go in.
Yep. Rupture is being used. Rapido trying to try and juke around, but he's taking more and more damage the longer he stays. Snowball save. There's also the jaunt, but he killed the puck first. So they get themselves a trade.
He should TP out if he wants to, Jaja.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he is. He's actually gonna stay, and they're gonna.
Whoa!
They actually got in your dream on the run. Oh no, Solvarish! What the hell? That wasn't supposed to happen, but it did.
That's a real monster. You know, he holds the front, even though everything is up against him, and then the cavalry arrives there to save him. So he has survived through everything and actually got really 2 big kills. This changes everything. XERXIA weren't looking so good in terms of kills in this laning stage, but now with just his movements there and baiting them in, it changes so much.
That was absolutely massive from the Tusk. I don't think I've seen such outplays in a while. Like, they're like, yep, he's probably gonna die. Yeah, he's certainly gonna die. He doesn't want to teleport home. Gets one ally. Like, okay, they can do something with the Caudal. In Your Dream blows up, and then there's even a 3rd hero to help him out for another kill. And he snowball dodges the right-click animations and turns it around.
Yep, beautifully done. Beautifully done. Right now, the only thing that XERXIA has lost with that tower defense on the top lane is that they haven't been placing too much vision. But they are controlling their own jungles. And it seems like, for now, they're happy with that. They don't want any aggressive wards. They just want early items on the TA. Once you have the Deso, a lot of these heroes on the side of Army Geniuses just get one-shotted.
So where do we go from here? What's Army Geniuses looking at? Just the Puck and the Mars together? Is the Bloodseeker looking for something specific? Is BKB enough?
I actually can't believe they didn't go on Blink for the Mars. Because you're not going to have an initiation tool, and you need to be stopping these timings of XERXIA if you want your lineup to work. Going for a Wraith Pact is cool, but it's cool against the Lesh and the Pango. The TA still crushes someone from 100 to 0, and the Wraith Pact isn't going to help much there. It's good against AoE damage, against single target though. The question is if you're even going to be there when it all kicks in. So I'm really surprised because Army Geniuses, they don't really have a play. They can just walk into some players, and that's not the best way to start the fight.
Trying to prevent this top lane from pushing all the way in and keeping the tower up. That's what Caudal is really good for. Treant Protector would be a 2nd hero. Really good at holding towers by deep-pushing waves without putting your hero in peril.
You have nothing to jump in with. Imagine if this net worth of the Mars, his 30 net worth, had a really good lane if it was put to different use.
This is the stun. Jokum gonna get caught under the tower. Takes tower aggro too. It's a TP coming in from Rapido. They're gonna snowball as well. And he's gonna follow in inside the arena. Forces the Mars out. Jokum to go down first. DB throws in the spear. Keeps the Lesh away. Bonbon here. Varage is right next to him. Rapido. They're kind of running out of damage. And In Your Dream, he shows himself from behind a tree line. They're going to get the Pango ruptured up. He's going to walk straight to him. Dodges the Split Earth. Mortimer's Kiss is flying in. Snowball save. And they're going to be brought closer and closer to the Snapfire. Seeker takes a bit of poke. Rapido dies as he tries to run away with a swashbuckle, but he still had rupture, so he will fall. And also Yaya going down. Yahweh in trouble. Puck doesn't have to use the jaunt, and he gets the coil out as well. He's going to jump available. Asta going to be dropping 2, and Army Geniuses are going to be cleaning them all.
Yep, just like the side of Army Geniuses doesn't have a jump, neither to XERXIA, so they go for that chase. They continue going for that one. After the Tusk died, there was no reason to stay there, but they thought they could have the puck. Even if by some miracle that does happen, given that they did use their spells perfectly, it still doesn't change the fact that you're gonna die for it. So big mistake from XERXIA for sure. You have defended the tower, you have kept the control of the map, you farm much faster than your opponent. Be happy with that, but no, they wanted more, and greed, well, greed will get the better of them.
The thing that I really loved was they got 4 kills and they went into the jungle to place this deep observer ward, and that's going to reveal the Pango's location too. And with this Witchblade, this puck is doing an insane amount of damage. The Swashbuckle though, and the cooldown is still up on Witchblade. If it did get the dot onto the Pango, that might have actually been a kill.
They should probably check that ward right now. There's XERXIA. They understand that there's no way you're coming for that camp if you do not have vision. And also they saw the enemies running towards there, so are gonna assume that there is a ward somewhere in the vicinity. We're seeing that they're already pinging out the ward that is between the towers.
Yeah, it's a good find. At least they did in the top lane. XERXIA, despite the good plays, were able to hold out that tier 1 tower for a long time. Now they can keep on doing it for the mid tower, which is much more important. So I think Xiaobonbon will spend the majority of his next 5 to 10 minutes just sitting here in this mid lane.
Asta knows that for Army Geniuses to get the kill, they're gonna have to commit some spells. Mainly the Arena and the Mortimer's Kisses, maybe even the Dream Coil. So he's not going for a blink himself, even though I love the blink on the Lesh, but he's just getting a BKB, knowing that if Army Geniuses by some idea want to go in on him and kill him, or maybe on some of his supports, he can just turn it around with the BKB running into them. I mean, once Mars has committed, once the Marcy has committed, they're most likely not going to be able to get out.
I'm a bit worried about this this puck right now. Network ain't looking the greatest either here. This puck should be a demolisher early on, but this is truly not the story. Nice dodge on the stun. He just has that haste rune. Coil onto 2. Orb coming in. Maybe, oh, I can get something to work out here. Yeah, you're coming in with a snowball and he's dead. Yeah, that ain't gonna get your net worth higher.
He feels the pressure. He understands that he's far behind and he has to go for plays like this if he wants to come back into the game. But the pressure is usually what is the downfall of players. Even for someone like Yowie, we can say that he is not a new kid on the block any longer. He already has some experience under his belt, but still feels like this game is going to be lost if he doesn't perform a bit better from now on.
Oh boy.
That is true. Pressure amounting. That's sometimes been the downfall of even the better players at the top stage.
In Your Dream is going for a halberd. They know that it's gonna be the Mars with the Wraith Pact, with the Hood, probably the Pipe that's gonna deal with the damage of the Lesh. The Bloodseeker with the halberd is gonna deal with the damage of the TA. But how are you gonna kill people? I think that's the main thing that Army Genius is the question that they're not answering.
Yeah, that's definitely an issue. Varius getting killed off Jokum all by himself in the back line. One by one they go. Xiaobonbon might be killed here, but the Rupture comes out. Well, it doesn't actually, because it's soaked up by the Lincolns. I was a bit confused because you hear the full sound effect, but it's actually into the Lincolns, and XERXIA taking down 3 heroes from Army Geniuses opens up Roche.
There it is. You don't have the right initiation, whereas the enemies, even without the Blink Dagger on the Tusk, him with the Snowball can still have a good way to start the fight.
Yeah. It out with the puck outside of the base. They will take the Aegis. Mortimer's Kiss is flying in. Asta, prime target to kill here. We'll get it in Your Dream to sneak in between. Squeeze those blades right on the neck of that Leshrac.
That's a nice one. Though Ken is feeling unstoppable right now. With his Blink Dagger, he can go and do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Oh, high ground miss.
High ground miss? Not
the
enough.
Vessel is going to finish him off. Asta giving the tips for the Coddle as he's very awake with the situations Puck with the Invis Rune, able to sneak away from that swashbuckle out of Rapido. Out of harm's way. Ken holding this Aegis with a Deso Blink. Definitely a big powerhouse. So if you think Puck is strong usually at this phase of the game, this TA feels like double the capability.
This is the perfect timing that Ken has hit. Until the Bloodseeker has the halberd, he's a sitting duck every single time that he's focused down by the TA. Luckily for him, he will have it at a decent timing, and it doesn't look like XERXIA are gonna be pressuring too much. During the duration of this Aegis, XERXIA are gonna be happy if they take down the tier 2 tower or significantly slow down the Bloodseeker. I'm thinking the latter is just way too hard to do.
Trying to invade the jungle. DB spotted. Quick walrus punch onto DB. Ken pushing out hits into the bulwark, but they have the vessel, and with all the magical damage, they will quickly burn through this DB. And Jokum also killed off by Asta in the bottom lane. Diabolic Edict is up and running, and they will force at the glyph. They will try to save the catapult, but at least the backdoor protection isn't applied as soon.
It won't be even.
Yeah, it won't be at all. Alright. 2-2 down. They're fighting on the other side of the map, though. Bon getting killed. Coil being popped as well. Puck is already out of there. Varish getting traded for Ken.
And Army Geniuses need to get so deep to attempt to go for a kill, and luckily there they finish off the Keeper. But if he had reacted with the Glimmer Cape before the first stun connected, it would have been a different story. And the thing is, Army Geniuses, once they commit, they're not getting out, because they're not committing with Blink Daggers, they're committing with their spells to get in, and then there's nothing to get out with. This Ken TA, he'll get a BKB, and then there is gonna be a time when the Seeker has the halberd, and the TA doesn't really have an item against the Seeker. But once there's a Silver Edge, neither the Seeker or the Mars are gonna be in a good spot, and it's gonna be right about at the time where the second row spawns.
Yep. They're gonna rupture up this Tusk. Dispose and rupture. Does a hefty amount of damage. Most importantly, the Tusk really can't go anywhere. Rapido close to getting that Blink Dagger so he can continue with those stuns, enable this TA to continue hitting more damage, or getting more hits out to deal more damage. Classic Blink Pango game. I really love the idea of going Lotus, Linken's instead of Lotus as your first item because of the Bloodseeker, because you never know if he's out of vision or if he's in vision when he's about to cast Rupture, and it's so much better to just have the Linken's and have the security.
Yeah, and there's nothing else to break it. I mean, only the Dispose, and that doesn't work through the Rolling Thunder. So
yep.
Overall, it's a really good item. But now the Seeker knows, and he's just going to be using it on someone else. Lash is most likely going to be a target.
Let's see what they can do here. XERXIA with the smoke. Hitting from the triangle position. Varish going to get caught first, and this Snapfire will be the first target to follow. DB going to get stunned up by Asta. Yaya on the side. Rapido coming in as well. So it's good. Ken dealing out a lot of damage onto DB, and now in your dream. 1 versus 5 fight. Very optimistic, but it will work out for him. There's the disarm of the TA. TA will finally get the right click. Takes down Jokum. Blinks in on Yahweh. And he takes this Puck as well. He's following him through, but he was going to be able to dodge most of those attacks. However, so many heroes lost. That opens up a tier 2 again.
I'm not even sure if it works out. You get the kill on the Tusk, but it actually costs you a 8-second BKB charge. And that Tusk, like, who the hell cares? XERXIA, they have one hero that is struggling in terms of net worth, it's the Tusk, and you don't really mind giving him away. His job is to jump in, to set up for the TA, to blow someone up after that. If he dies, he dies. It's not really that big of a deal.
That was a nice phase shift. Still takes the damage. It's nice that you dodged the frontal assault of the ethereal horses, but there's still the follow-up on it. Varish, meanwhile, is pummeled inside the tree line. Take the Snapfire away, out of play, but Puck is already pushing out the wave. There's no tower to take here either, so XERXIA, they're just trying to find for some prime targets. and some prime kills. Maybe if DB walks back in, he's going to get slowed up. Ken with the jump in with the DD rune's going to be doing a lot of damage with that DD onto DB. DB's Mars is still holding his ground for the time being, but not for too long as he's surrounded by enemies. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they found Repeater. Repeater able to jump away from In Your Dream and choke him.
Beautiful. Just beautiful spell from them. Also, one big thing, Army Geniuses haven't devoided their triangle. Oh yeah, they can.
Just had those two heroes chasing a Pangolier in the top lane, revealing that they're not in the base. So this gives them an opening. Ken, he's going to take advantage of it. He's going to push the tier 3 tower. Still nobody to defend.
They have a shard on the keeper, so Rupido gets recalled immediately. This is the big thing. They're playing against the Puck who likes to split push, but with the recall always being ready, you can do whatever you want in the
Drax already going down, and now finally getting the damage out onto Ken. Ken dropping very low, and In Your Dream will clear him out, and this is perfect for Army Geniuses. They will get one. They'll look for the second on Rapido. Gets bashed by In Your Dream. Double kill for the Seeker. More vision provided he sees where the Tusk is. And he is on a race car mode. He's just going to chase them all down one by one. And into the spear from DB. 3 to 4 heroes now finally taken down by Army Geniuses. And they get the push.
One of the rare times when a slow illusory orb from Puck actually has its uses, it's because the Tusk goes for a snowball and the orb is flying so slow over the snowball that after you come out it's still there and it damages you immediately, so you can't blink out. Not like it would have changed the fight too much. Maybe the Tusk survives, probably not, even if he blinks away, but boy did XERXIA overextend that one. This is the thing, their lineup is very reliant on this timing, and if you lose the TA a couple of times like that, the game is going to be looking very hard for you. So now XERXIA are going to be waiting for second Roach, but they're going to be super sad now that they didn't do it immediately.
Yeah, they only got the range racks as well in mid, so the big prize was left intact, that being the melee racks. And it's also mid lane, so it doesn't really give you a pushing advantage either.
I mean, it's the lane that's arguably the hardest one to take down, but after it has been taken down, no one really cares. It's way too easy to push out.
The hardest to take, but the least to provide. Gonna go. DB has the arena placed down as Tusk rolls in with the snowball. They've got Yahweh on the edge. He's got 75 HP. Can they get the instant hit out? Oh, the swashbuckle almost connected perfectly, but not enough. Ken still being right-click down. Cookie in. They've got the disarm of the Seeker. Seeker can't hit anybody right now. He's on the runaway, but he's gonna get melt struck down by Asta actually getting the kill. But TA falls at the same time. Mars also killed off. So if the TA is down, Asta will step up on the stage. In Your Dream, second death this game. And onto the Puck they go once again. Yahweh, he's got another phase shift available. Goes into it. Orb jump. Can he get to safety? Oh, he jukes them. He's not even going that way. But Zhao Bonbon, he follows through with the blast.
They knew that was a possibility and they hadn't been down anyways. This is the thing, you are focusing on the TA right now, but this is also the part of the game where the Lesh becomes an issue. And even if the TA misses her timing, which isn't really the case in this game, but she's not topping the network chart, the Lesh can take over. Both Asta and Ken have been farming really well in this game, so even though he dies, it's not that big of an issue. Asta came late to the fight. He was kind of playing with the Marcy on top of it, but he decided, yo, screw this, I'm not gonna be focusing on the Marcy, I need to help my team, and he gets in there in time to clean up.
Role playing an anti-mage, showing up to the fight only when it's won, so you can come in for the kills. DD, arena ready. Nice jump in from Jokum. There is the arena, and also the Rolling Thunder. Not doing a lot of damage here onto the Coddle. Coddle still alive with 200 HP, but not going to make it too far because this Bloodseeker, 630 movement speed, and TA just bash, bash, bash. He's down. Ken is fallen. Jokum with the buyback. Asta to fall to lose the Aegis. But he's going to come back with a BKB. They were looking for the reinitiation. Yaya wants to keep them close, prevent them from getting away. His sacrifice, is it going to pay off? Asta charges in, takes down TP. He needs to keep the Puck busy as well. He blinks right on top of him. He's got Zhao Bonbon and Rapido both on the hunt as well. And out they comes into the blast of Coddle. Yahweh down, and now there's less rack. Even if he is silenced up, he's still got Pulse Nova fully active. Versus Jokum away. Varish is going to get blown up. Karma continues to blink on top of his foes. Goomba stomping them and taking their lives intact with him.
This TA needs that Shadow Blade, really. I would be surprised if Ken buys a Crystallis over the Shadow Blade. He needs to do better in terms of positioning. If the Seeker is on top of him, you're in trouble. The bad thing about Army Geniuses, though, they did use their timings, the big ones, to slow down the TA, but they were not winning fights. They were not getting so much out of them other than the TA kills. Asta was every single time surviving through it. So now with the Bloodseeker's BKB being down to 6 seconds, if there is any kind of a defensive item, positioning item on the TA, and there is going to be a Shadow Blade right now, it makes it very, very tough to bring down Ken.
XERXIA still holding on to a 13k lead, and even if it was a small notch after that one successful fight from Army Geniuses, like you said, the story has not changed. It's even worse.
Definitely. And Asta is gonna have a Hex. It gets finished immediately. So now you actually have this initiation on the side of XERXIA that allows you to instantly blow someone up. There isn't a hero on the side of Army Geniuses that is gonna survive a Hex plus 1 follow-up stun.
Smoke on smoke action. TA, the only one who isn't smoked up right now, farming in the top half of the map. They're going to intervene. Scans are being dropped. One connects, the other doesn't. And there we go. Yahweh will find two targets. He gets hexed instantly by Asta. Won't be able to get the coil out at all. The blast is coming, but the Yule's just in time. Rapido and Jaja both going to be falling. Rapido coming with the buyback, but it's not going to be too enough. As they're just falling on the side of XERXIA. 2 already, 3 dead. Make that a 4th hero dead as well. Rapido rolling away, and no Ken.
Good idea to go towards the top lane. Of course, the scans there make a big difference because Army Genius is connected with theirs, and XERXIA, they thought that they were safe to rotate towards the top. When the tower isn't dead, you usually want to go through the river to connect with the TA, but they went greedy because the scan didn't connect on anyone, and it gave them a false sense of security, allowing Army Genius to win a fight. And there is a difference between the Lesh and the TA. If the TA dies first, the Lesh can clean up, but if the Lesh dies first, the TA can't do it. Maybe can kill one hero, and then it's gonna be stranded.
Pushing power is kind of limited on the side of Army Geniuses, but they're capable of taking down buildings if they have all 5 alive. So that
the butterfly on the Seeker. He's gonna ignore the TA completely. He doesn't care about the TA any longer. He's just gonna be running in on the Lesh. If the Lesh dies in those 6 seconds during the duration of the BKB, the fight is just over. So I think now it's gonna come down to if XERXIA can find the Seeker and actually jump on him and blow him up from under to 0. That's why he's going for these defensive items.
Yep. Ken gets a solo kill. There is a Mars in the area, but Caudle will recall him back to safety. Mars is still looking around, and they have a lot of heroes in here. They have the Bloodseeker and the Snapfire, but nobody to be found. And just like that, net worth is actually starting to get a bit under control for Army Geniuses.
Yep. There is a big item though now. It is the Silver Edge. If it is Army Geniuses that start the fight, you hit the Seeker. Okay, Asta is dead.
Or is he? In Your Dream is not having the movement speed to get to him, but the BKB finally runs out. Rapido intervening. Asta finally down. Tusk is there. Caudle is here, but again, no TA. This is the 2nd fight in a row, which is 5 versus 4.
Yeah, it's not Asta dead, it's him plus 2 of his supports that come to assist him. Those are 2 really nice and fast smokes from Army Geniuses. They had no hesitation when going for those. They knew what their plan was in the last one when they got a big fight inside of their triangle, and now they're running towards the left. They know that XERXIA are gonna be connecting, but they are thinking if we're fast enough, we can get there in time and kill him before they come over. And also, I mean, Asta had a lot of luck. No bashes came out from the Bloodseeker. If he got bashed there, he wouldn't have made even 1 step back.
I'm just very curious that you have 2 team fights where XERXIA is ready to take the fight, but the TA is nowhere near.
Ken got scared. He got super scared from the Bloodseeker crushing him. in this game, so he doesn't know if he's gonna be useful at all. Though I have to say, with the Silver Edge, really, the thing changes a lot. Let's say in your dream he's super fast, he's running in, bam, Silver Edge, and then he has nowhere to go. And there are gonna be times in fights, especially towards the end of them, where the Seeker feels like he can re-engage, but with the Silver Edge, it just makes it impossible.
And that is also how you blow a a 12,000 net worth lead. The game is tied in terms of economy. It was a disastrous situation for Army Geniuses, but I feel like XERXIA have done this on themselves.
It all started with that mid lane push without the Aegis. They could have waited for the second Rosh. You have a TA lineup. It's your time to end the game. And they just gave away so many kills at that point. The Lash was getting a lot of kills, but we're seeing that Asta is having some issues once the Seeker commits on him. Ever since the shard came out for the Seeker, the damage output is way too high. He has a Mjolnir, he has a Butterfly. His attack speed is actually insane.
Got it.
The next Roshan is going to be up in a minimum of 50 seconds. Might as well bring our good old Roshan spawn timer contest. Harry. And also Twitch chat, you may apply. Give me a number from 0.1 to what's the maximum timer again?
180 seconds.
180. Yeah, so 0.1 to 180.
123. So that's 2
120.
minutes and 3 seconds.
122 minutes and 3 seconds. All right. Twitch chat, write your seconds or minutes under 3 minutes. Give me a time where Roche is going to be spawning. We'll find out the correct winner in 10 seconds.
You're not joining the contest?
I'm going to say 13 seconds.
Okay. Oh.
We haven't had an under 30 seconds Roche yet, so 2:55. Ding ding ding. I actually have a feeling that our channel Autobot is going to silence everything because he thinks that the times on the chat are scores. So we'll see if anything goes through.
Are you calling our bot stupid?
I'm calling our bot smart.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's more like it. Either way, though, XERXIA still have a gold lead. Of course, at this point, 1k gold means absolutely nothing. The win probability 50-50. It comes down to how well you kite the Bloodseeker. If the Bloodseeker can attack like 4 seconds of his 6-second BKB, it's enough. And of course, it being on a core, you don't want to be attacking a Tusk during that time. You want it either to be a TA or a Lesh. I think the fight goes towards Army Geniuses. In all other scenarios, XERXIA are gonna do better, but they haven't been able to find these good initiations consistently. And now the Puck has a Linken's here, so that changes. He's not gonna be dying to the Hex.
XERXIA coming in with a very long wraparound. They have wards on the edge of the stairs. No way. Might just be the target of this fight. Linken's popped. Ooh, that was so close, but they didn't get the follow-up on time. The Yules were used by him. Rapido, look at the stun. And finally, they can connect on top of him. The puck's blown up and in your dream. Look at the attack speed this man has.
Almost
already
saved.
dropped low, but the snowball is there. They're taking the weights outside of the arena. And Jokum about to fall, but they do too much damage from Varish. And that granny is going to blow them all up. And the Glimmer Cape to disjoint the projectile from TA. Meaning only the puck falls, so it is a trade-off.
Man, did you see the damage of the Marcy there when she jumped back? She just destroyed the Lesh. He had a significant amount of HP left. Obviously, no BKB and the Bloodstone, but he got finished off by the Marcy herself. There was some help there from the Blightrite and the Spear, but overall, those aren't really spells that you're looking towards in the later portions of the game to finish people off. But still, Seeker got some time to attack on the Lesh, even though a snowball save came out. It was way too late. Lash got way too low. This is insane. You have to stop this guy from attacking in your dream way too hard.
Yeah.
It hits way too hard right now.
And XERXIA, they did not stack spells on top of the Linken's pop. That was the big game changer because they saw the Linken's was popped and he phase shifted, and then we waited for like 2 seconds or 3 seconds until anything happened. Then the Yules comes out, and after that the puck gets blown up. And Army Genius has a full information about the whereabouts of XERXIA. Now we're going to go for round number 2. Snowball coming out. Job on Bone will live. Jokum gets blown up by Jaja. Is this the support Tusk Doing all the work. Ken with the right clicks takes down DB. BKB as he's ruptured. In Your Dream comes in for the bash, and he's going to cancel the TA's teleport. Ken, he's invis for the time being. Turning around with the refraction, trying to stay alive, but he's going to run out of damage. And without the Slashrack, they're trying to work it out. Just the three of them. Xiao Bonbon, he's low on HP. So is the Tusk. Tusk is also burning up and dotted down all the way, as the dot is what kills off the Tusk in the end. Yahweh for the chase, takes down Xiao Bonbon. Rapido, and then we have Asta. Asta pops his Diabolic Edict, suspecting that the puck's gonna jump in, and he actually does. Goes for the silence onto the Lesh, and they're coming in again. Zarish, Jokum following up. Leshrack in the middle of all these three heroes, and Rapido trying to keep him away. Jokum coming in with the BKB. And has an unleash available in 3 seconds, so they're gonna fight this through. In Your Dream rejoining the fight. Leshrack the fall.
In Your Dream barely got out of that fight. He was like 200 HP. Nice kiting coming out from the remaining members of XERXIA. It was actually the two supports and the Pango that were trying to kite him, and they didn't manage to do it. And now the Roche. I mean, Army Geniuses, they just feel way too strong right now. Even with the Monkey King on the TA, she cannot stand her ground against the Bloodseeker. The attack speed is so high, the bashes are coming through, and the TA cannot stand her ground. So it has to be the Bloodseeker that you're killing first. It just has to. If that doesn't happen, I don't see them winning the fight. Plus now you're dealing with an Axe on the Bloodseeker. I haven't seen a Blood Mist for a very long time.
Yep.
But it actually makes a lot of sense when you're this much stronger than the enemies.
Okay. So talk to me about this Blood Mist. How can it be good? Because nobody wants it.
Oh, well, the thing is that you heal way too much when a hero dies, right? And you're healing a lot from the Blood Rage as well, so you're having that lifesteal too. So
okay.
The Blood Mist isn't really gonna be damaging you at all, and it's gonna be taking away so much HP from the enemies. It is a good spell, the Blood Mist, but only if you are super strong to stand your ground in it. And In Your Dream, those definitely is.
Let's see it. If that's the case, the last 2 times I've seen Bloodseeker in a competitive game build that, he just killed himself. So hopefully this time he doesn't die to it. That feels like that's like a grieving Aghanim's.
We'll see. I think he actually has the strength to pull it off.
Yeah. I think it was in West European DPC in the first tour. Where I was like, oh, we finally get to see the Blood Mist, and the first fight he takes with it, he just kills himself. And it was like, yeah, we're not gonna see this again.
Cannot be turned off while on cooldown. Okay, so when you turn it on, you have to wait for 3 seconds until you turn it off, right? That's the way it works. So you're at least gonna be losing 21% of your HP.
Tusk has been found. He's gonna bonk him away with the Havoc Hammer. Like, stop bullying me. Oh, Ken shows up as well. It's like we're gonna stack up on top of this. Xiao Bonbon is being killed. They're buying time with the TA still sitting in bottom. Asta trying to take the fight to them. Marcy BKB's up. Unleash is ready. Stuns the Pangolier right away. Ruptures theirs while he's got to stop rolling. Repeater. You gotta stop, and he does. Marcy is about to fall as well, but Ken goes down first, and now on to Asta. In Your Dream, unstoppable on this Bloodseeker. Hunting them down one after the other. 17-17 Bloodseeker.
They have 2 buybacks, so there is a chance to fight still. We talked about it. The way you win a fight is that you jump in and use the hexes onto the Bloodseeker and kill him. But once he has the Aegis, it's actually much harder than just like that to make it work. So XERXIA in a very uncomfortable position. They're gonna lose 1, maybe even 2 lanes of racks right now. The tier 2 on the bottom lane will keep them in the game, but I don't think they're gonna be in this one for much longer. One more fight, they're gonna have to take it. Most likely they lose and call GG.
Yeah, man, they were so close to actually winning this game as well.
Yep.
Like, they just dropped the ball in that mid lane push, and they're really gonna feel disappointed about what happened there, because that cost them the game. It was just a landslide from there. Army Geniuses take 2 fights after that. 5 versus 4. No TA joining in. Ken was somewhere else. And the package, it just fell apart.
Discipline in Dota is now more important than it ever was.
Always desperate to fight against Ken here. Wants to get the show started. He does have a TA trap on top of a DD rune.
I mean, Meanwhile,
Only he's
other
able to
side of
get
the
there.
map.
Mars is down to half HP. Torpedoes there. BKB forced out by DB. And another rupture. It's this time onto the Tusk. Now their godlike spree up for the Bloodseeker. Harry's just chilling around at the secret shop.
Yeah, the Seeker isn't stopping. The thing is, XERXIA, they would love to fight around their tier 2, because fighting on their high ground isn't going to be easy, especially with the creeps going in. So they're going to be under perfect vision of their opponents. But they've been forced into the base. Good vision plays by Army Geniuses, and you can't do it. So now you're going to be fighting, and yeah, you could say you're on the high ground, but it's actually an unfavorable position for you, because the creeps are going to be swarming in, and Army Geniuses, they're going to know exactly what's coming their way. This shard from the Lesh changes things slightly.
See what they can do here. DB pushing onto the high ground here. He's got the Bloodseeker with him. In Your Dream already hammering down this tier 3 tower. He's taking 100 damage per hit onto the objectives here. Only takes him about 25 hits to finish it off too. That's fast work. Last shard is a bit annoying, but it's not stopping them.
Gonna lose the Aegis soon. This is the time to strike for XERXIA. It's now or never. The thing is, they are under enemy vision and they know it. So they have to deal with the ward first, with the waves, and then go for a smoke, hoping that you're gonna find the Seeker.
It's in the Cuddle's backpack still. They're not even smoking up. Asta gonna get jump on by Jokum. Jokum just go for a big burst. Snowball in. DB's already magic immune. Look at this Tusk fall. Asta in big trouble. He needs backup. Ken finally dishing out damage. Mars gets blown up during the fight. Bloodseeker almost falling in Your Dream. So close to XERXIA. They need this kill. They need to get to him. They are so close to catching him as well. And he's living on a bit of HP. And finally get him out of the way. Jokum to fall as well. Is the next one they want, and he's invis for the time being. They can't see him, now they do, and they've got him taken out of play.
Braxes are not gonna fall. There are siege creeps, but XERXIA are gonna be there in time. And this is the thing, you kill the Bloodseeker, the fight is just over. Army Geniuses, they have this one hero that they're relying on. And I'm not sure how much the Blood Mist helped there, but yeah, you could say that the Bloodseeker took away like 15-20% of his own HP there.
Yeah, this Bloodseeker just didn't seem like he had much presence in that team fight at the end. It felt like it was just a Marcy show. Marcy and Mars doing all the heavy lifting.
Oh, you know what you need to do if you're XERXIA. They're going for a raid
Repeat of the mid push. The repeat of the mid push. This time they need to make it work. It's been such a long time since they've been here.
Buyback.
And if they can still turn this game around, XERXIA, after 20 minutes of just being pummeled by Army Geniuses, a game that they threw away could still get back into their hands. They're climbing that net worth lead close to a tie as they finish off these racks in the bottom lane as well. 2 lanes of racks now secured. Finally got the melee racks in the mid lane, which they were hoping to get eons ago. Finally dealt with. And all down to one singular melee racks.
And that Lesh shard really changed the things in the base there. If they didn't have the Lesh shard, the Raxes would have fallen before the Aegis expires, and it would be impossible for XERXIA. Maybe they would have won the fight, but continuing the game would definitely be much harder than it is right now. So really nicely placed splitters there from Astar, keeping them in it.
Close attempt there with the Walrus kick. Jokum snipes the courier first. He's going to get hexed up as well in Your Dream with BKB. He's on the runaway. Ruptures are flying in and out. It is onto Ken. Ken needs to hold his ground a bit longer. Jokum wants to fight Jaja. Jaja gonna get blown up. This Marcy is still alive. They're destroying them all. The back TA is down. And so is the Leshrac. They left Jokum alive for a little bit too long there. And what happens is Marcy. Oh boy.
Yep. That's what happens. Marcy just absolutely ripped them apart there. Seeker was not part of that fight for a very long time. I don't know how he did 3.5k damage. I guess that Blood Mist, once you start running into multiple heroes, really starts popping them. But overall, like that was a Marcy show. This is what this hero does. Does have the Chrysalis and just starts destroying everyone. Plus, a couple of them broke the puck coil. he has level 25, so it does pierce magic immunity. And I think that was also a part of the reason why XERXIA lost that fight.
And this is a game where you have to see it from Marcy's perspective. Like, the game started off really bad for the Marcy, and then you don't have any items as a support to actually benefit your team in any single way. You can buff somebody with sidekick, so someone else can take over the role. But every time you jump into the fight, you're gonna get killed. Marcy is so easy to kill as soon as she goes in for the jump to stun somebody, because she doesn't have the HP. She dies to burst damage super fast, and has spent this entire game buffing up with sidekick, looking for singular pickoffs if they have 2 or 3 heroes to combine with her. And now she finally has the items to actually deal damage, and this is what this Marcy can really look like when you have those items. If only Marcy had them before, this game probably would have been over already. But because they never got to that phase, it's only now starting to work for Army Geniuses.
Right now, XERXIA, their best play is to catch Army Geniuses on a transition towards the bottom lane. If you allow them to get all together, they're also going to have refreshers. They're going to have new agonyms. Who did they give it to? Is it going to be the... Oh, did they give it to the Puck? Yeah, it seems like the Puck got it, so his Waning Rift is a problem. Plus, Puck has a refresher shard. That means BKBs on XERXIA are pretty much useless. You need to find an angle. Push out the waves, go for a play, catch them while they're getting ready to push the bottom lane. It's... Yeah, you have that shard on the Lesh. It's annoying. You can push out, but catching people outside of the base, it's much better. So that's why I actually like their ward here. They're not gonna do it... anytime earlier. They'll do it close to their base, but as soon as Army Geniuses cross that line where the ward sees them, that could be the time for XERXIA to jump.
They're getting closer and closer to the base. Not too far now. Refresher, shard on the Puck, cheese on the Mars, the Aegis on the Bloodseeker. Right outside of XERXIA's base. Jaja gets the Arcane Rune.
They saw him.
He's gonna get coiled instantly. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide.
Does have a buyback.
He gets pushed out, but he's still gonna get coil snapped. The Joker tosses you over. Okay, this is a bit of a symphony of abilities. And in your dream, kind of alone here. Rupture out onto Ken. He does not have any friends around, but XERXIA did not know about that. They only saw 3 heroes next to the Roche pit. They could have actually had a chance to jump the Bloodseeker and blow up the Aegis, but they won't go for it.
In Your Dream has the refresher. Double BKB is a big deal. There is no refreshers on the Lesh or the TA, so they're only gonna have 6 seconds where they're somewhat safe to dish out the damage.
We are looking for the jumps here. Ken on the side. Coil coming out. TA in trouble. Coil snap stun. There's an E-Blade to save him for the time being, but Ken still going to get blown up. Comes in with a buyback. Asta running away from Joker, and Pango is leashed on the spot. Nowhere to go. Yule's into the air as well. Caudle going to be focused down next. TA can't get to deal any damage. His friends are dying, and look at DB. DB's Mars model just bugs out completely as he's spamming out the right click. It's like, I want this kill. Bit of taunting going on. XERXIA weren't able to close it out in the end, and it's a big heart graph. It's a real heartbeat graph, basically, what we're going to be looking at the end of the game. XERXIA 5 versus 3.
They still want to fight. They want to attempt it, but I don't see them having the damage. They don't have BKBs either. There's just no way you're going for this one.
Attack onto Indoor Dream. Ken's damage is lacking. Rapido, he's got the control on 2. They want the Mars. The Mars is about to fall. And onto the TA. They stack completely on top of her. She already lost 1600 HP in one quick burst. And that's a dieback. And that's game. Army Geniuses, they will get the victory. And XERXIA, they're going to feel pretty upset after this one.
Yeah, for sure they will. They thought they had this game. They went high ground in a situation they're like, yeah, there's no way these guys can win a fight against us. And that was the time when the Seeker got the Basher. He just ran into the TA and blew her up. She didn't have level 25 at that point. We could see even now how hard it is to go through the refraction charges of the TA. They need a couple of seconds, but after they do it, she just dies in in a second. There's no way you're surviving the Marcy and the Seeker. I have to say, in your dream, he played one hell of a game. I wasn't a fan of the item choices of Army Geniuses, but boy, did they capitalize well on Xerxia's mistakes.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. Like XERXIA, a bit optimistic as well, but for righteous reasons as well, because they had a very good game until that 22-23 minute mark. TA online, things are looking good. We're pushing, we're taking objectives from you, and then that mid lane push, which changed the entire game on top of its head. They played really well. They played this game really well. You got to give it to XERXIA at least that they did fight till the end, despite that one fight in mid and then the other two fights without the TA. So you can't blame yourself too much on individual performance because they worked well as a team. Army Geniuses just struck where XERXIA was the weakest.
Yeah, no doubt that XERXIA played a good game of Dota. I mean, overextensions, they do happen. Just Dota is that kind of a game right now. If you miss your timings even slightly when you should be taking so much from the opponents, it gets punished heavily because the chase usually gives a little bit more to the enemies than you would have liked to give. So with that team fight, you can't really say it. You should try it. It's still a group stage, of course. Because of this loss, it might not be looking good for them when it comes to the standings, but they still have time to correct it.
Yeah, there's still time to correct stuff, but that also means the last game of the day after this next break.